Hello, I'm Dennis, the Married Man's Coach. I help you get more of what you want out of your marriage without sacrificing your manhood or your masculinity. Today's topic is walkaway wife syndrome, what it is, and how to keep it from happening. But before we do that, if you're a man and you're married and you want more out of your marriage and your masculinity, then subscribe and hit the bell icon. So, walkaway wife syndrome is what happens from the man's point of view. Suddenly the wife is on the way out. She's leaving, she's walking away, she wants a separation, she wants a divorce, she's just done. But it doesn't happen, although from the man's point of view it seems like it's something that happens like that. It's not. It's something that's brewing for months and even years before the man is aware of it. So that's what walk away wife syndrome is. The woman is done. She's checked out. She's already made that decision in her mind. She's done her math and she's out of it, out of there. She's done. That's walk away wife syndrome. And from the man's point of view, things seem to be maybe they're not great, but they're not too bad. So why are you leaving? That kind of thing. Now, it happens because of. So I talk about that there's two skill sets that a man needs to master in order to have a healthy marriage that lasts, that goes the distance. And those are being able to cultivate attraction and being able to meet emotional needs at a deep level. If you can do those two things consistently over time, then all other things being equal, your marriage is going to last. Now, all other things being equal, right? Because what happens for a marriage is that a marriage is it's patterns on top of patterns on top of patterns on top of patterns times how many months and years. And so oftentimes guys wake up when their wife is on the way out the door. She's got walk away wife syndrome and it's too late. Very often it's too late. She's checked out. And so walk away wife syndrome comes up because you're failing, because the husband is failing to meet emotional needs at a deep level over time. So whereas like the failure of not being able to generate attraction is that the wife loses attraction and then that looks like her being attracted by somebody else and wanting to go play with somebody else. That's what happened with my wife. That's what she wanted to do. And I was able to turn it around. I talk more about that in my book, and there is a link for my book in the description below. 22 5-star reviews. So, what do you do about it? Well, so what you got to do is you got to understand that part of being a good man and being married well means connecting with your wife emotionally. And I know that might sound like, well, what the heck does that mean? I mean, I have a group coaching program going on right now, and this guy's asking, like, how do I meet these needs? The good news is it's a framework, and it's a framework that I've talked about before, and I'll put one of them up here now. You need to keep your finger on the pulse of your wife's emotional needs, so that you can be there for her. You can do a good job. You can keep her taken care of emotionally. But you got to keep it in balance with the other skill set, with being attractive. And a lot of times that means laying off a little bit, leaning back, and letting her come to you. So it's really about being able to find this balance between the two things to keep these two skill sets in balance without going too far overboard on either one. Because if you go too far overboard on the emotional needs, you're going to kill your attraction and you're going to look needy. You're going to look like you're the guy who's like just soft and pliable, and that's not attractive. And you got to cultivate attraction to your wife. And I know some guys think that, well, she's married to me, so that means that she must be willing to, she's married to me. She said I do. Therefore, I can wear Star Wars t-shirts day in and day out, and that doesn't matter. And if you think Star Wars t-shirts are all right, and you're a man who's over 30 and you're married and you got a life, let's have a talk, because they're not. There's nothing wrong with Star Wars, but if you're the kind of man who's still wearing Star Wars t-shirts on the regular, as in not laundry day, then yeah. So you got to balance, you got to find out how your wife So here's a tip on how to understand your wife's emotional needs. Is just watch her. Watch her and how she goes about her day, and what does she do to feel certainty about things. What does she do to feel significant? What makes your wife feel significant? And I don't mean just from you. Of course, if you know how you can make your wife feel significant, great. But I also mean specifically, like, when she goes out in the world, how else does she meet significance? You might find that she meets significance by maybe she's helping, maybe she volunteers somewhere. She feels significant that way. How does she feel connected to other people? Not you. You're looking for ways, you're looking for what she's already doing to meet her emotional needs so that you can replicate those and sort of break them down, deconstruct them, and come up with a model that you can use to meet your wife's emotional needs, so that you can connect with her, so that you can demonstrate, so that you can show her that she's significant. Because you got to do it. Otherwise, your wife might end up walking out the door and you don't even know. And so many guys, I talk to guys every single day who are blindsided. They get blindsided. They're like, I didn't know it was coming. I mean, I talk to guys almost every single day who are blindsided. They're just like, hey, I don't know, I got blindsided, like she just left. I don't know, I thought everything was fine. Because what happens with the walkaway wife syndrome is that your wife, so men and women are different. And that means men and women communicate differently. And so what happens a lot of times is that women want that connection. They want to get their needs met. But they communicate with it. Maybe they show up in upright and they say, hey, I'm not getting my needs met. We need to do something about this. But that's the exception to the rule. A lot of times, not all the time, but a lot of times, her wanting to get her emotional needs met shows up like she's nagging. Like she's just in your business all the time, kind of just like, right? Think about that in terms of emotional needs. You know, what is she trying to get here? What does she want from me? And a good sort of rule of thumb on how to handle these things is that she wants your presence. She wants you to get masculine, in your masculine, which is calm, cool, and collected. It's present right here in this moment, and to be with her. And to allow her to flow in her feminine, to whatever she needs to get off, let her flow. You don't have to fix it. You don't have to fix it all the time. Sometimes you should fix it, but not all the time. And allow her to do that, and then she's going to go on about her business. Sure. And so just allow her to be in her feminine, and that to her is going to feel like a connection very often. You know, I can't speak for every man who's watching this video. But walkaway wife syndrome it's hard to see coming, because what happens after the woman nags and it doesn't work, she starts doing that math in her head. And she starts doing that math in her head, and then she does the math, and the conclusion is, okay, well, I'm going to leave. And it might take her months or years after she's made the decision to leave to execute that leaving. It might take her months or years to execute that leaving, because she's got to meet this or that criteria or whatever, but she's checked out. And what does that look like for you? She stops nagging. And what does that do for you? You think it's peaceful. The problem? She's just waiting for the right time to leave. And that's dangerous. That's dangerous because you don't see it coming. You get blindsided. So, any questions, comments, or concerns about that? Leave them in the comments below.